I also recently challenging some popular life advice, so I thought, why not do the same again, but do it as relationship advice because connection, as I'm moving towards my 40, is something that I really want to work on, and I really need some advice from people who know what they're talking about. But all I can find usually it's a bunch of cliches or a bunch of like sentences that I find it very hard to assess whether or not they are good advice for friendships or for relationships. So I took a few of them today, and I'm gonna go through them, write them, and see, see how I feel about it. And you let me know in the comments if I miss anything. You let me know in the comments if I'm way off, if my expectations are absolutely out of line, and if that's probably the reason why I'm not connecting well with people. Just drop it on me. Give me the reality so that I can move towards my 40s for friendships or other relationships in a way that I feel confident about what I'm talking about. And yeah, so let's go. The first one, as I hear all the time, is you are the sum of the five people that you spend your time with, so make sure that you choose them carefully. I think this advice, I would give it maybe 5 on 10. Um, I would say in general, I spend my time around less than five people. I'm gonna say it out loud. Just in real life, I mean, like, friends and really close connections. Obviously, if you're working, there are more people around you, more colleagues, more clients, and stuff like this. But I would say, like, the people who are really influencing my life, it's less than five people, or it's more people, but then it's more like superficial and not really something that really builds me up. So I feel this advice is probably true. The people that spend your time around, I think, make a difference. If you're around people who are proactive, they have ambitions, they are positive people, they really embrace life, they are very present, they are very explicit in their communication. They're just like really good people to be around, and you look up to them or they look up to you, and you're kind of like positively helping each other. Obviously that it's a better quality. But for instance, I'm living with a flatmate who is constantly complaining, constantly negative, constantly using like words that I cannot say on YouTube, otherwise I'm going to get flagged. Or like making things in a negative way but exaggerated as well. So there is always like a vibe like this around her, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to spend my time with you because this is clearly something that is impacting me, where I have to absorb your energy and I have to absorb that and I have to put it back out there, or I have to pay attention really in the connection. So that for me it's a hard pass. And I feel you cannot always fully like remove people like this from your life. If you are at work, there will probably be people that you don't really get along, and you might have to spend a significant amount of time around them. So you can't really control who are the people always in your life. But I think it's more like a balance exercise of trying to maximize the time you can spend with the right people and trying to minimize the time you spend with the people who are not really bringing joy into your life. And I feel for me, it's also important to not necessarily stick to this number of people. In like five people seems like a bit arbitrary, but I would say I also spend a lot of time online following some people that I really appreciate, and like influencers who are really wise people. And I want to soak in everything that they have to say. And for me, this is also part of the sum of the five people. They are also part of it because I actually consume their words and consume, can be videos or can be things that they say. And I'm actually, they are part of my life, even if though they don't know it. Maybe I'm actually part of your life and I don't know it, but I might actually be a person that also influences the way you live, and the way you feel about yourself, and the way you are going out there. And this for me is really like important, to not just think about five people, just like the people I spend time in real life, but also the sources of inspiration that I get. And spending also time around animal, I'm gonna say it. I also would like to spend more time around animal because I think that actually helps my life better than people. So I think that's why I'm giving a 5 on 10 on this one. I think the people that you spend your time around are definitely important, but it's more like finding different sources. It doesn't have to just be like, I need five friends right now and I need to go sort this out. It's like, no, you might have two very good friends, and then you have three more people that you look up to and listen to on social media that are really influencing, and maybe, like a few extra people here and there that bring different pieces to you. I think this is all about the balance, and it's all about like just looking at, yeah, just kind of filtering a little bit more what you need in your life, and just having this in mind when you are choosing the people. And yeah, so I think it's 5 on 10. It's a good advice, but I feel that there's a bit of nuance on who are the people we are talking about. And second one, this is more for like I think intimate relationships, like when you know. And this one is a 1 on 10. I would say this is probably the vaguest advice I've ever heard. And it reminds me of the song from Taylor Swift, because she said when you know, and when you don't, you don't. I feel this is something that maybe I have not experienced that one in such an obvious way. So I'm like, no, I don't know. How do you know that you know? I do not know. I feel it gives a sense of like really destiny and that you are meant to be with each other and things like this. And I don't know if it will happen like this to me. Maybe it does. Maybe I don't know yet. Maybe that's the reason. But I feel this is a very like vague thing to follow. Like it doesn't really help me. And I also feel that for me relationships, in all cases, even friendships, I feel like it's always a choice. Like you, maybe there is something that feels good and you are interested in the person or you're curious about it and you decide to try, and then you put some effort into building that. I feel this is more what I see in the way it could happen to me. It's more like, oh, okay, I'm putting myself out there. There is a person. Oh, okay, I'm making a choice and see what happens, and build something a little bit. Then rather like a deep knowledge is like, oh yeah, that's the one, and that's it. There is no more. There is no more depth. I don't believe this will happen to me like this. I feel that I'm more thinking that there might be some work to be done, and even if it feels right, it doesn't mean that you don't intuitively know that things are going to be good or that there is like really a connection already. But I feel there is still a choice to be made. So yeah, vague advice. If you've experienced this and you are like, yes, I didn't know, and then I knew, let me know how it happened and what I should be looking for, because maybe it makes more sense and maybe I can give it a higher ranking. Um, then another one, when people tell you who they are or show you who they are, believe them the first time around. And this one, I have to give, I want to say a 9 on 10, maybe a 10 on 10. I think this one, unfortunately, I learned the very hard way. I had a few people in my life. I had, for instance, a friend who told me from the very beginning that he was very lazy and very unreliable and that he was a very selfish person. He kind of even used the word like this early on. And I was like, oh no, you're just young and you are going through a tough time. And, I was trying to be a supportive friend. I was like, I'm sure there is more to you. And yeah, maybe there was, but at the end of the day, at some point there wasn't. And I feel like, yeah, okay, you told me the first time around, so I could have listened to that. And I had another friend as well, a colleague at work. And, we started at the same time, so we kind of became friends because we were, in the same circumstances. And she kept telling me that, I don't know the name of this insect, like, the big green stuff that is eating their husband when they are done with them. I don't remember the name. I think it's manta, ray manta, something. Let me just have a look. Sorry, this is an intermediate break that I should have checked before I did this video, but anyway, we'll see. It's a lot of cliffhanger here. Manta insect, let me check that. I'm not going to find it. Mantis. Yes, it's a mantis. Praying mantis. Mantis. Yes, there we go. The mantis. And this is not a very, so she was being called a mantis by her friends because she's the type of person who, she gets into your life and then she kind of hits you and then she just dump you and she's gone and you're kind of left in a bad position. She was doing this with her boyfriends, but I think this was actually true as just a normal person to be around. And it's like I've never had somebody call me a mantis. I think none of my friends will call me that. So for me, it was like, oh, that's an interesting description. And I heard her say that like in the first 2 weeks where I knew her, and yeah, that ended up being true after a year and a half. So yeah, I found this advice is like very hard for me to to really embrace, because I am always trying to give a chance to people. I'm always thinking that sometimes people are in bad situations and they be certain ways, and if you have enough compassion and if they they can do the work to manage to get themselves out of it, and they can choose differently. And I'm wired to really believe into people like this because I'm a coach, and so I'm wired to see the potential and to see the psychology behind things, and to really understand the patterns going on. And then when you see the patterns, you know that they can be broken. So I have a lot of like understanding of human psychology, and I have compassion for it. And I think in some shape maybe I'm also arrogant. Sometimes I feel like, oh, because I know all that, then I know you can change, or I think that I can help that. So it's actually yeah, I had to learn. This has been a quite interesting journey, I would say. I had to learn to kind of give up on that and just like more observe and listen. And if people tell me something, I'm like, okay, this is what you tell me. Now let me just, look at more behaviors, and then if that's what I see again, okay, then you were right, and I will listen to you. And it's like on one side trying to believe in people and trying to have compassion, but also not forgetting myself and not forgetting that I can be a good presence in their life. I can still be somebody who is encouraging them and creating safe spaces, but I don't need to be dragged into that. I don't need to remove myself and forget myself and end up being the person who gets hurt, because it's often the case. So I feel it's like it's a good filter for me now. It's like, when I meet people at early stages and they tell me specific things like this, or the way they talk about themselves, or the way they tell me other people talk about themselves, or if they tell me something and they behave exactly the same way a few times, I'm now going to filter that out. I'm going to be, okay, you told me, you show me now, okay, I see that makes sense. That's not the type of people I want in my life. So I can be a good presence for you. I can be somebody, like, that doesn't bring you bad vibe, or doesn't make you feel bad about yourself, or doesn't disrespect you or anything, but this is where you belong in my life, and if you wanted to belong there, then it would need to be different. I feel this is really protecting me quite a lot. Versus what I would have done before. And as I was saying, sometimes there is a bit of arrogance. So there is like, not, I don't know if it's arrogance, it's just like, you sometimes you want to save people, or you think, oh, I'm gonna be a good presence in their life, but in the sense of I'm gonna rescue them. And I feel this is something that over the years I've learned to really remove. It's like, wanting to be a good presence in some people's life doesn't mean that you are rescuing them. You can just be yourself, be a good influence, just say the thing if you want to say them, make lack of, ask questions, help people think differently, but it's not your job to save them. It's their job to save themselves. And if you are there as a tool and they can benefit from that, then perfect. That's just, it was meant to be. But it's not your job to get them to another level. It's theirs to do the work. So yeah, it's hard sometimes to admit that, and just let it go a little bit. Another one, the right person will feel easy to work, to be with, or won't feel exciting. I think this one is I think for me it's a 10 on 10. I feel that, I haven't found the right person yet in terms of intimate relationships, but I can see that with friends as well. The people who are right for me, they're not necessarily exciting. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, we are going to go on crazy adventures and things like this, or oh my God, there is going to be so much novelty. No, it's just like people I can talk to. They are very calm. When I'm around them, my nervous system is like, ah, safety. I don't need to impress them. I can just be myself. I can be playful. I can be sharing something hard. Like, it's like I can say no. I can say the boundary. There is like just a normal level of understanding that makes me feel like I'm not being demanding. That makes me feel that I have the right to be myself and just express myself. And I feel this is something that it doesn't mean that feels necessarily easy, because sometimes you still have fights, sometimes you have disagreements, sometimes you still have to do like, maintenance and making sure that you call people regularly, and that that you express some care, and there is still a lot of work to be done to have this relationship at a good level. But for me, the effort feels right, and even like, there is a fight or disagreement, it feels like it's worth repairing, and it's worth going through the discomfort of having difficult conversations. I'm like, yeah, you know what, this is going to be hard, and I don't want to have this conversation, but on the other side of it, we are going to be better. So okay, let's do this. Let's really go for it. And I feel this is the same thing I'm expecting for for relationships, like romantic relationships. I feel sometimes we are like, oh my God, he's going to be, he's going to enter my world, and then suddenly feels like are gonna be so exciting, and I'm gonna be like like a crazy chicken, and so every time I want to see him, I'm gonna be like this. It's like, no, actually, I don't want to feel that. I want to feel, oh, you are there. Yes. That's the type of feeling I want to achieve. And sorry, microphone, I bumped you a little bit. And yeah, I feel this is an advice I heard, like, like, instead of looking for excitement, just look for a calm nervous system, and something that is actually making you feel at home. It's probably a very good advice. So I'm keeping this one 10 on 10. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, because this is one I have really in mind. So if I'm not going in the right direction, please tell me in the comments. Another one is the right people know what you need without you having to express it or say anything. And I feel this one is probably, it's a bit in between. Maybe I would say a 4 on 10, 3 on 10, maybe something like this. I always feel that if people are in your life and they really care about you, at some point they should show some interest in you, and they should try to get to understand you, try to, understand what are your preferences, like just having a sense of what could make you happy, and bring joy in their life and in your life, and what type of communication you prefer, or what type of, if you like gift, or if you like physical touch or things like this, like a bit more like the love languages. I feel this is something that, I mean, if you are in my life, I will pay attention to that. Like, I will get to know you, and I will try to understand this quickly, so that I know how I can make the relationship work. I don't necessarily change all my ways of behaving, but I would say, oh, actually, if you're somebody who really enjoys receiving presents, then I'm gonna give you present. Like, doesn't have to be like big things, but I'm gonna think about you, and I'm gonna buy you some silly stuff as a kind of proof of like a connection. For me, this is like, um yeah, I think that you need to learn something. For me, I don't necessarily relate to words of affirmation. For instance, like, sometimes people like try to tell me stuff. I'm like, no, I don't need you to talk. I just need you to be there and spend some quality time with me, and be very present when you are there. That's actually making me feel good. And I feel this is like something that, on one side, I'm expecting, because I would do it for somebody else, I'm expecting somebody else to do it with me. But I also know that you also need to communicate, that you also need to express what you need. I'm not the best, as you can see, I'm not the best at doing that. But, sometimes, like, I remember somebody saying, like, people are not mind readers. So fucking tell them what they need to hear, and what you need from them. And I agree with that. Is like, you need also to communicate, and not assume that things are obvious for people. And it doesn't mean that you have to, say, okay, every single time we meet, this is how you need to behave exactly, and stuff like this. But just, like, being explicit. If there's something that you don't like, just redirect it, and give some, like, some kind of like gentle feedback, or like, just basically try to build something together that works for both of you. I think this is important, and it comes from communication as well, rather than assuming, okay, the other person is going to be smart enough to guess it. And I feel it's also, yeah, even for me, it's easier. For instance, I know I'm not necessarily good at always being explicit with people, because I don't necessarily enjoy words of affirmation. I don't necessarily think about doing this for other people, but some other people need that. They need like the verbal validation a bit more often, and being told, just using the word. Like, for me, it's obvious if I spend my time with you, because I'm a quality time person. If I spend my time with you, it's obvious that I enjoy you, because I would not give you my precious time if I did not. But some people need to hear the word, and all these things. It's like, yeah, you need to learn. Like, it's part of it is you making the effort, but it's also communicating what you need, so that above people can do something about it. So yeah, this is one as well. I would say probably 4 on 10. It's like, they should know, but it's not only their job to know, it's also your job to communicate, so that they can know. That's basically what I'm putting there. And then the last one I've heard, and this one is also a big question mark for me. It's like, I heard people say that the most important thing that really guarantees long-term relationship is respect. And I think I would give this one, I think, somewhere like a 6 or 7 on 10. I found it hard to know if this is true, because I have not yet experienced that. I mean, in the sense of, like, is it respect? Is it communication? Is it attention? Is it appreciation? Is it, you know, there can be so many other things that makes a long-term relationship really, really works. I'm like, is that actually the thing that matters the most? I mean, if I heard it has been studied by plenty of couples, and that's what they are saying. So it's probably true. But for me, I feel like there are a lot of things that make a relationship functional overall, and it can be for friendship, or for actually intimate relationship. I think is the same thing. Respect is for sure important. I'm trying to think about if someone is not respecting me for any reasons. Usually, like, when I don't feel respected is usually if somebody is underestimating me, or kind of, like, being condescendent, or like, thinking that I'm basically stupid and I don't understand. This is one form of disrespect for me. But it can also be people who are doing something that has negative consequences for me, and they don't take ownership for it, they don't correct it, they don't apologize. This for me is another big form of disrespect. Like, this is the type of thing that you get out of my life. I obviously don't necessarily want to interact further. So this bare minimum of respect is actually really, really important in whatever relationship. So definitely it would impact a lot what can happen. I'm also trying to think about when I don't respect someone, which I'm sure is happening as well. I'm not necessarily being condescending or anything, or just if I do a mistake and it has an impact, I take ownership for it. But I feel sometimes it can be that I don't respect people. I don't know if it's respect or it's just like I cannot match them. Like for instance, if somebody is not respecting themselves, or they are always in a negative thinking position, or they don't really have yeah, they're not really like, on the same path than me to find a better life, or to build things, or to kind of explore who they are as human beings. I find it very hard to be around this type of people. So I don't think it's respect. I think it's maybe like I'm judging them a little bit, or I'm just like there is a mismatch in the life journeys, and it's very hard for me to connect at their level, and to find them, to look up to them. So maybe then I look down at them. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. I think it's like yeah, just like where I perceive they are in their life and where they are going. That might not be matching that. I think if I was in a relationship or even a friendship where people feel that I don't see them as interesting or ambitious or whatever, what can be around that, then probably they will also feel that they're not being respected. So I can see how that could also bring a relationship to a stop, because there is no connection anymore happening there. So yeah, I feel this is like the relationship advices. So I was saying, like, yes, being the sum of 5 people you spend your time around, probably a 5 on 10. Just make sure that you choose people always. And you can also choose people from random places, not just the people around you. When you know. I absolutely do not know. So this one is a 1 on 10. When people tell you who they are believed than the first time around, I think this isn't actually really true, that I've really experienced. So 9 on 10. The right person won't feel exciting. I feel feeling will just be easy with them. Yeah, 10 on 10 in the sense that it needs to be like good for your nervous system is probably what I'm taking from this one. The right people know what you need without having to say anything. 3 or 4 on 10, you still need to communicate. And then the most important thing in a relationship is respect. I would say a good 7 on 10 is probably something that can make it or break it, but I don't think that's the only thing that matters. So yeah, this were my take on relationship advice, whether it's friendship or other relationships. Let me know in the comments if I got something wrong, if I'm unrealistic, or if I'm over optimistic, or if I'm doomed. Let me know. Let me know, because I really want to work on this in my 40s, and build richer relationships in general. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. I would be curious to hear your perspective as well, or anything else that I missed that you think is a really good advice and I should keep in mind as I'm going out there trying to connect with better people. And yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Chloe, and I'm doing daily YouTube videos talking about anything that you need to build your best life, and to really find a way to enjoy your freedom, and enjoy yourself, and have a good 40s if you are in your 40s, and a good life in general wherever you are. So if you want to follow that journey, you can subscribe down below, and I will be back tomorrow for another video.